In last night's dream, I was just seated, leaning up against a brick wall, dressed only in pajama bottoms and a cinched bathrobe. I was at some sort of sporting complex, watching from afar as people were playing tennis at the courts in the distance. I suppose that after reading the novel Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty, it's not surprising that tennis entered my dream. Anyway, I was just seated there against the wall when two women approached, and one of them asked me if she could interview me. For some reason, I didn't balk. I immediately acquiesced and started answering her questions. She asked me about the band-aid on my finger, and I explained that it was covering a blister from playing golf. She asked me about my love life, and when I explained that it's been ages, she asked me why. I didn't really have an answer for her. She pointed at a woman across the way and she said, "What about her?" My response was, "She has too big a bottom." Superficial, I know. She asked me my name, and surprisingly, in the dream I responded that I go by the moniker Reardon Dearborn. I explained that I was pretty sure that it was an homage to Ayn Rand's Hank Reardon from her seminal novel Atlas Shrugged, but that was only an assumption. The pseudonym, I explained, was given to me by an angel when I prayed over what I should use as a name on my first manuscript back in 2000, Life After Lithium. It was never published, so don't look for it. There's a novel of the same name out there, but it's not mine. It wasn't long after I sent out the manuscript that I read the book by Rand, and I remember thinking maybe it was supposed to be Reardon with an E, but that I just misunderstood the angel when he whispered in my ear. Anyway, the reporter thanked me for my time and got her things together, ready to leave. I asked her when the interview would be printed, and all she said was next Sunday. She didn't tell me where to look for it. After she left, I got up and started to make my way to my car. Yes, for some reason I had a car in the dream. I kept clicking my key fob, listening for the beep, so that I could locate my vehicle. Once again, it turned into a dream where I didn't know where I had parked. I heard a beep coming from the street on the other side of the tennis court, so I started making my way there, passing the players who were still actively engaged in matches. For some reason, there was a woman walking backwards next to me, and yet still she was moving at a more brisk pace than I was. I asked her how she could move so fast that way, and she just smiled as she passed me. Ultimately, I exited the courts, clicked the fob switch again, and heard a beep coming from up a rise. I backed up a bit, then ran so that I could quickly ascend the slope that led to the street. Once on the street, I realized that I didn't recognize any of the cars as being mine. I clicked the fob again, and the taillights blinked for a white stretch limousine. I approached the driver's window, which was open, and I explained that my fob was making the limousine beep. The driver said, "This is your car." I walked around the limousine to the passenger compartment, reached for the door handle, and that is when I woke up.